Hi folks, Joseph Kursky here with you to talk about a key theme for our time, and that is GIS Helps. GIS Helps. The focus of this segment in our series is GIS helps bring people together. GIS helps bring people together. What do I mean by that? Well, for centuries, maps have been excellent sources of communication, displaying a lot of information in a small amount of space, whether that space was in the past etched in the dirt, on stone tablets, wood blocks, metal. Yes, metal. Think of Al-Idrisi's map on silver in the 1100s. And in more recent times, on film and paper, and more recently in digital form. Maps are compelling. They help people to understand a new frontier, an issue, a cause. It is rare for you to find someone that hates maps, isn't it? How many of you were the family navigator when you were young, helping your family plan the route on vacation to the next spot to be seen? I was one of those people Ken Jennings described in his book Maphead, holding the family atlas on trips in the back seat of the station wagon. Yeah, that was me. Let me give you 3 examples of maps bringing people together. The first comes from a video I used to show my students for many years entitled A World in a Box from the Geospatial Information Technology Association, GITA.org. A World in a Box. The introduction to that video was very compelling. It was about the spotted owl environmental community in the Pacific Northwest, USA, and the logging community. And the very beginning was very compelling because they were going at it. They were very contentious groups. Now, I'm not going to say that once those 2 groups got GIS and produced the maps and all started gathering around a table that they all started breaking out the guitars and started singing John Denver songs and hugging. No, it wasn't that. But the point is that once both of those groups got GIS, they realized they all actually had one thing in common, and that was a really powerful thing, and that was a healthy forest. So the environmental community and the logging industry and the community that it supported both realized a healthy forest is what's going to bring us together. And GIS helped them to look at where they could mutually agree upon certain areas to protect or to log and reseed and replant. So the video is very compelling. It's a great example. It's a real world situation that actually happened. And it's a great example of GIS bringing people together, at least around a common table where they could start talking about issues rather than just kind of coming to blows, literally. So that was one example that I wanted to share. The second example is the current COVID situation. Maps help people understand the situation and then decide what action they or their community should take. How many people have looked at that Johns Hopkins University COVID dashboard in 2020? Millions. Millions of people per hour actually looked at that dashboard and consumed those maps. And actually, other organizations produced the data that the JHU dashboard was feeding, or fed. People were standing up and putting up hubs and open data portals and other resources for planning and for individuals to decide what action to take. So that is a great example of maps helping people understand a situation and bringing people together and understanding a common problem. Now, the third example is that GIS is helping people from a wide diversity of fields come together to solve problems. What do I mean by that? Well, that is exactly what we need in our modern times to solve these perplexing, complex, serious issues that increasingly affect our everyday lives, right? Ocean acidification, biodiversity loss, water quality and quantity, natural hazards, health, as I mentioned earlier, economic inequalities, and so on. These are complex issues that increasingly affect our everyday lives. And we need people from many disciplines, from anthropology to zoology, A to Z, literally, from transportation to health to engineering, from geography to economics, from planning to public safety, from energy sector and demography, and many more, to understand the whys of where, We are not going to get there to this understanding and then an action plan with the clay tablets and the wood blocks that I described earlier. Yeah, as cool as those were, We're going to get there with modern maps from a geographic information system so that we can interact with them, so that we can adjust variable A and look at variable B and how that's impacted. We can change the scale. We can add additional data to it. We can share them and communicate with these maps, and we can use them to take action. Jack Dangermond, ESRI founder and president, describes GIS as a nervous system for the planet. Think of your own body's nervous system. It helps make you function, right? Without it, you would not exist. And GIS and the people working with GIS are coming together to make decisions to help our world function. Hence, GIS helps. It brings people together. GIS helps.